Hello, this is a quick demo of my Roland JD XA, which I am selling on adverts. So let's start it off. Up here, I've got all my voices. So I have my analog voices up here and my digital voices here. So for the analog part, just think of these as monophonic synthesizers. So I can have 4 different analog monophonic patches, or I can switch it to polyphonic here, and it's a 4-voice polyphonic. So let's do an analog patch first. So we'll start off here, look. All very monophonic here. The blue button means I'm editing it, and the red button means red color means I'm hearing it. So I'm going to do this in polyphonic here. So first thing I've done is switch that to polyphonic mode. So now I can do a little C chord, right? So now let's have a go at the oscillators. So we have 2 oscillators per voice, all right? So we switched it to polyphonic analog here, and for that we have 2 oscillators. So first one here is on a saw wave, and second one is on a saw wave. So let's just have a listen to that. I can turn the volume of the oscillators up and down here. So put 1 high, 2 low. So now that's only 1 oscillator. Square wave. Other waves here, like a sine wave there. We'll go back here to a saw. Nice gritty sound. Bring in oscillator 2, turn oscillator 1 down. Let's make that a square wave. Alright, now I can start adjusting the semitones here. So I'm going all the way down. I can have it down to 24 semitones. So let's go down 12 semitones. So that is lowered. Bring oscillator 1 back in. So now they're both in. I'll turn that auxiliary down, get that in a second. So now I've got both of them in. Turn on a bit of oscillator sync here, start at the same time. Okay, so you can tell that's badly in need of some filtering. So let's go over here. I've got an ADSR for my volume and an ADSR for my filter. I'm just going to turn these down a little bit here. Alright, ADSR, so small bit of attack, small bit of decay, a little bit of sustain, small bit of release. Alright, filter. Definitely need some filtering, so let's get the filtering done. And I'll just keep things simple, I'll keep it the same. Now, look at this. I can choose all these different filters here. Okay, band pass filter, high pass filter. I have 3 different low pass filters. So let's start with the first one. Quite a low cutoff there. Filter 2. Putting that a bit more. A bit more. Alright, let's get the envelope depth. Lower down a bit more maybe. Too much. That was filter 3. Well, I think I prefer the first one. You can also have the variation of the filters here. There. It's telling you when it's lights on. It's to 24 dB cutoff. I like that one Just gonna open it up a bit more. Okay, not bad. Okay, so let's give this a little bit more of a feeling. So let's play around our LFO. So LFO shapes. Here, let's stay on that one. Actually, let's go random. Let's go random. I can apply pitch. I can apply. So let's apply pitch and filter depth. And here's the LFO speed here. Okay, too much filter going on. Still too much. Needs a bit of release, I think. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's add a little bit of... I'm going to turn just these a little bit here. And what I'm going to do here is on my auxiliary, I'm going to bring in a bit of white noise. I'm going to turn that up, see what it sounds like. Not bad. So that's me playing around with a whole pile of analog stuff. But wait till you see this for coolness. I can add some digital effects to the analog stuff. So here I have 2 different effects I can select, and here's the amount that they're that's added. So let's see, can we find a staple of electronic music course? And get that chord again. Okay, that's hardly any. So, no chorus at all. Reasonable amount, and then a huge amount, saturated with chorus. That's too much, right? So. Alright, I'm feeling the sound of that a bit more. I wouldn't mind a little bit more filter on the LFO. Speed it up a little bit. A little bit more white noise. Bit less coarse. Okay. Right, let's get another effect on. Like this one, phaser. That's too much though. Put a tiny bit of phaser on it. That's too much again. See that? Getting a bit crackly again because this. Ah. Speakers here. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. One more last one. It wouldn't be an electronic patch without a bit of reverb. So you've got a special reverb button. Don't worry about delay. The delay's there as well. But I can see here how much reverb I'm adding. Okay, so a little bit of simple subtractive synthesis, and I have a patch, and it sounds fairly okay. So, what is the real selling point of this synth? The real selling point of this synth is that you can layer sounds, and I think this is really cool. So, let's say we're happy with that analog synth there, but we want to add just some other sounds to make it sound a little bit deeper. For example, I'll pick one of these digital parts. I'll turn that off, I'll start editing that. So I have the blue button here. Now each digital part, you've 3 partials you can edit, and this is where it starts getting really complex. It could take hours and hours of fun to. You can have hours and hours and hours of fun here. We're only going to mess with one digital patch, and then we're going to layer that with the analog patch. So I'm starting off as a saw wave, and I'm picking up those effects from over here. Okay. But let's put a bit of filter on that saw wave here. And let's lower the semitones of it. Sorry. We're looking more for a bass sound here. I'm happy with 12 semitones. Okay, 12 semitones. Where were we? 12 semitones. I wouldn't mind that sounding a bit punchier. So what I'm going to do is pull down the sustain here. Open up the filter. Lower the cutoff. Try a different filter. Cutoff. Bit of resonance. Yeah. Now we're talking. I'm going to lower those semitones a bit more. Lower them all the way down. Now, bring back in the analog part. So turn off the digital. What do I got here? So you see the way, by having both of them on at the same time, it kind of, it layers and deepens the sound. So that was it with it on. I'll turn it off again now. And I'll turn it on. And off. Right, and I can add another digital patch here. So here, turn that off for a second. So blue button means I'm adding it. So I'm on to my second digital patch here. Now again, that starts off with the saw wave. I'm going to make this one, this digital patch, I'm going to make that a square wave. That's too high. I'm going to bring down the semitones again. Hope you're not feeling dizzy there. So down. And it's quite loud. So how do I get that down? See that there? Up. That's down there. Up there. I got that filter off. Now, one stupid thing I was doing there, I was editing the digital thing with the analog thing on. If I turn it off, I can hear the digital thing on its own. Oh, I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. Oh, that's nice. Nice. Okay, so now that's first digital part. Sorry, second digital part. First, second. Right, so they sound similar, but let's two of them together. It's all about thickening the sound, right? Now, each one of these digital parts has a partial. So I was only editing the first partial there, so you effectively 4 times 3 here, 12 things you're editing. So now I've got that bassy sound a little bit louder. Bring that back in now with the analog. That's too loud now. The neighbours will be complaining. So here's my master volume here, look. Are you going to help me out here at all? So you might find just from pressing a simple button like that you go in a completely different direction, right? So I'm going to put key hold on here. I think this is suited to an arpeggiator. So here we go. A little bit more white noise. I'll take that on the analog. White noise is going up.